In this video, we're going to break down exactly how we take a client from zero to running a profitable campaign. Realistically, a lot of this is just going to be focused on determining who you're selling to, what the customer's buyer's journey is going to look like, what landscape you're operating in, meaning what does the market look like currently, and then the funnel that you're going to run so you can go out, launch paid ads, and then eventually scale. Number one, who? This is one of the most important questions that you need to answer is who am I selling to? Who is it? Who am I selling to? Am I selling to roofers? Am I selling to business owners? Am I selling to people that have built organic businesses and are now running paid ads? So who am I selling to? What's my ICP? What is my ideal consumer profile? We do this in a couple of ways. Number one, if you've built a business on organic, I'm gonna look at sales call data. That's the first thing. I'm gonna see who's closing. I'm gonna see who's closing at the highest PIF rates, so pay in full rates. And I'm gonna determine who, based off who we're currently selling, is our ICP. Second thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go do market research. I've got a full video on the channel on how we do this, so I won't go too in depth with it here. But what I'm doing essentially is I'm looking at comments, forums, AI, Reddit, competitors, etc., to figure out, again, who another ICP we can go and target is. For example, if I see a competitor speaking to ABC type of person, but they're not coming into my sales calls, it's worth eventually testing on paid ads. Again, simple test, something to look at down the road, but those are the two big ones. Is I'm gonna look at sales calls and I'm gonna do some market research to then determine who. Now, when I figure out who I'm selling to, there's a whole process we do that I won't get into extreme depth on in this video, but from a fundamental perspective, the number one thing we need to figure out is what's the core desire. Is it to make more money? Is it to find a partner? Is it to protect money? Is it to learn a new hobby, a new skill out of just pure passion? Like, what is the current desire, the core desire of this person? Once I've done that, I'm gonna figure out all the benefits of this current desire. Favorite example I use in a lot of my videos. If I'm selling to a dad and the dad wants to make more money, is it to spend more time with kids? Is it to spend more time with wife? Is it to go on fancier, nicer trips? Is it to buy a nice car? Is it to have the freedom of choice? What's the reason? I'm gonna figure out all the different reasons that they may wanna buy. That's it. And what these become is our angles. So all of these reasons are our angles that are then rooted in this core desire. So now I have what they're buying, what the outcome is, and I have the angles that they're doing. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna literally draw this person out or visualize somebody that I know personally, not just a random stranger on the street, but somebody I know personally that will buy this thing. I guarantee you, you know somebody that would buy what you're selling. And now I'm gonna begin to articulate what their life looks like. So the reason this is so important is in my ad, I can say, hey dads, and that's great. Or I could say, hey dads, who just got done mowing the lawn and you walked outside your 2-story house with the nice little bushes that your wife put out front. And you see your kids playing in the playground on the swings. And there's a beautiful sun in the sky. Think about how different your consumer feels when you're able to articulate that to them. Extremely different. And so what I'm doing is I'm outlining a couple of things. Problems that they're currently having, circumstances that they're currently in, aspirations, things that they're striving to be, striving to have, emotions that they're dealing with or experiencing at that time, and then literal visual cues of their day. If I can outline all of those things, and there's a handful more that go in our core onboarding doc, but if I can outline those things, I can now very clearly articulate who I'm selling to. I know they want to make more money. I know they want to spend more time with their kids. I know the problem at home is they don't have enough time for their kids. They're working 80 hours a week. I know they really want to be able to go on that trip to Monaco and drive around a track in a Maserati, whatever. Maseratis are shit cars, but either way, fucking Maserati. In a Porsche, drive around in Porsche, they want a nice Porsche. If you can clearly articulate everything, your ads become 1,000 times more profitable because the person you speak to, you're really able to set the hook. And there's a video I'm putting out either before this or after this on how you should be treating your leads. The messaging you use, how you speak to your lead dictates the same thing. So once I've done that and I've clearly articulated who I'm speaking to, I have a very clear understanding of who I'm selling to, who my ICP is. Then what I'm gonna do is map out the buyer journey from unaware all the way to essentially them saying, please take my money. That's what I'm articulating. If I can map every single sale that needs to occur, every objection, every limiting belief, every reframe that needs to occur across the entirety of the buyer journey, I've nailed it. Because now I know, okay, cool, if I run an ad at this stage, I only need to overcome these things. If I run an ad at this stage, I need to overcome all of this. But what I'm able to do is I'm able to then map my buyer journey a lot better so that I know, cool, I'm running a very product aware ad. I don't need to overcome as many things in order to get them to buy. Think about it like organic content. Somebody that books a call through organic content, they're very warm. They're extremely warm. And so you don't have to make as many sales. You literally are coming in the sales process here and they just want to buy. The craziest thing for me is I can drop a $700 payment link in the DMs, probably up to 1,000 by the time of this video. But I can drop a pretty hefty payment link and people don't even need a sales call. They just pay it. They just pay it like that. Oh, fucking crazy, right? Why? Because they're most aware. They're at the bottom of this pipeline. But you want to map the entire thing out. That's the second thing we do. So number one, really get clear on the ICP. Number two, map out the entire buyer journey. I'm not thinking about anything mechanical. I'm not thinking about a funnel. I'm not thinking about any of that. I just want to map out what do I need to tell these people from point A all the way to point B, from like literally not knowing you exist to knowing who you are and begging to give you money, what needs to occur at each stage. Once I've done that, I've mapped out the who and I've mapped out the buying journey. Then I'm going to go look at the landscape. This is where it gets really interesting because you're able to address things like skepticism. So there's a matrix. I'm going to butcher how we draw it, so I'm just going to write them out. You've got two things in marketing that I don't see people talk about enough. market sophistication and market awareness. These are fundamental things where if you nail them, you can crush it with any type of marketing. I don't care if it's paid ads. I don't care if it's content. Like, it's probably why we've grown 10K in 10 weeks. If you nail these two things, you can crush it with marketing. All that these are, market sophistication is how many times your audience has been pitched. Market awareness is how aware they are of what you sell. So you're going to look at these two things, market sophistication, market awareness. The reason this is so important is because this knows exactly how you have to speak to your consumer in your ads. For example, if I'm in a very sophisticated market, meaning they know what I'm doing, I can blatantly say what I'm doing. I'm making this video to send to prospects so that they know what working with us looks like from zero to launch funnel, what to expect, what assets to get, how we think through this process. That's why this video is being created. And because my world is a very sophisticated audience, I can say that to you. If I'm in a lower level of sophistication, I don't necessarily need to do that. I can just say, hey, this is how we do it. But in a highly sophisticated, I can tell you like, hey, this is why I'm doing this. This is how we do it. And it resonates with you a lot better. The other side of this is market awareness. Market awareness, very simply put, is how aware are they of what you sell and if they need what you sell. So you've got most aware, which is I want to buy from Zach and Just Scale. You've got product aware of I know I need fitness coaching. You've got solution aware. I know I need to get more fit. You've got, what was the other one? Problem aware. I put on a ton of weight. I don't feel good. And then you've got unaware. Those are like the my 600 pound life. They're probably problem aware, but like, again, you get the point. And so you're looking at it. I'm going to butcher how to map this. You're going to look at the two and you're going to see where you fit into the market. Are you in a sophisticated market with a ton of awareness? Is there a low level awareness? No sophistication? Those are the easiest markets to sell in. But that's what you're going to look for. Great example too. Think ChatGPT. No one knew anything about AI. So very low level awareness, low sophisticated market. That's why everybody in their fucking mother knows what ChatGPT is. Claude did not exist at this time, or they weren't as popular. They didn't take advantage of that market timing. That's why though. The only reason people say, oh, are you using ChatGPT? What about chat? Is because they entered the market at a low level awareness and a low level sophistication. So they just scooped up a fuckload of market share at the time. And now they own pretty much the naming of AI. Unless you're in the weeds of AI, everybody just says ChatGPT, OpenAI. So that's how powerful this is. And when you are thinking about your market, I draw this diagram all the time, you have what's called your TAM, your total addressable market. What you'll notice when you do this assessment on sophistication and awareness is you'll see that the market is saying all this shit over here, and there's a little tiny gap that's exposed. Your job is to enter here and then dominate. It's exactly what I did with my organic content. As I looked at the market, I said, everybody talking about ads is highly produced, except for shout out the boy Evan Seach. Don't know you personally, but respect the hell out of what you do. I got a lot of mutuals that say really, really good things about you. But Evan Seach, doing super low friction content. I said, okay, this is ripping for him right now. Let me just go right next to him. Let me go adjacent. He had a bigger following than I did when I got started. Now I'll probably pass him in 2 weeks on the social side. Business is probably doing much better than me, but still, I'll probably pass him adjacent because I saw, hey, what he's doing is working. He's only captured a small bit. Let me come in, pivot, and dominate this part. So that guess what? Now the brands start running ads can start to infect the rest of the market. Like you're going to watch this in real time. I'm calling the shot now. We're going to be one of the biggest ad brands in the game because of this understanding of market awareness and market sophistication. Because here's what's funny. You know how many copycats I see on social media of me now? Even like close friends that are literally just ripping what I do to a fucking T. It's like, bro, you've fucked yourself. You've absolutely fucked yourself. You have no uniqueness to your brand. You're just saying what I say. You're taking what I say. You're just changing it up a bit. It's like you're fucked. You got to be different. You got to understand how to position yourself with this market sophistication and awareness, especially in our space of like advertising and marketing. So that's a big thing there. The other thing to understand with the landscape is to see and understand something that we call counter positioning. And I'm going to shout out Mr. Briar Cochran on this one. I give him credit every time I bring this up because it like changed my entire view of marketing. If you walk into a farmer's market and you see 4 apple stands that all look the same, who are you buying from? I don't know. They're all the same stand, bro. Maybe this one because it's a little fat, but like they're all the same stand. Now, if I walk into that market and one of them is Black Roof, who am I buying from? Probably the guy with Black Roof. Ooh, why is that though? Because he's different. He's counter-positioned compared to everybody else. Think about companies like Liquid Death. Still water. I didn't know there's still water for years. It's still water in a can. Doesn't look like it. They fucking crush. It's like you've got to position yourself differently. And this is, again, I will crash the fuck out constantly when I think about this, is all of these growth operators and marketers. There is no uniqueness to your brand. You look like everybody else. I'm saying it now. A lot of you are copycats of me. You are my brand adjacent. What the fuck do you expect? Seriously, what the fuck do you expect? You will never outcompete me because you aren't in your own lane. You're like grabbing onto the end of my car and I'm pulling you into second place. It's like, good luck, buddy. You're never going to win. And that's the problem I see with so many people marketing for the first time is they go, oh, it's working over here. I'm just going to copy it. It's like, okay, cool. You're never going to have first movers advantage. You'll never have it. So like, what are we doing? Doesn't make sense. And so that's the big thing with understanding the landscape is you really want to see how you fit into the market and visualize it. Like go through that farm exercise, print out every one of your competitors, put it on a board if you have to. Here's a great exercise. Go look at all of the top growth operators, download every single one of their pages, and then tell me which one's different. Tell me who you'd buy from because you look at everyone objectively and you go, I have no idea. Now I have to go in depth and watch your case studies. Like you don't even have the effect of like holy shit, he's different. And so that's the big thing there, is understanding the landscape. Now, last part is, how do I choose a funnel? And if you're curious to learn any more about this, there's gonna be a link below. You can book a call to speak with myself or a member team, just depending at this time. We'll run you through whatever makes the most sense for you, whether it's consulting, done for you work, or we are gonna be launching something here soon. So just stay tuned for that. But if you're curious to learn any more, just book that call below. Now, lastly, funnel. How do I choose the funnel? Well, first thing I'm gonna do is, one, do I have a business in the first place? Ideally, if you're watching this, you're already doing a couple $100,000 through organic content and you have a sales team that rips. Only question I'll ask you, what funnel are they running? Is it a DM funnel? Is it a lead form funnel? Is it a webinar? Is it a call funnel? What is it? Whatever it is, that's what you're gonna run on paid ads. Simple. That's what you're gonna run on paid ads, because you don't wanna add complexity to your business. Now, great example of this though. If I'm running, let's say, DMs on IG and my DM funnel's ripping, I can run it on paid ads, but just know it's gonna be very hard to scale past like $200,000 a month, extremely hard to scale. And so what I need to understand is, okay, this gives me house money. Once I have house money, spin this into something else, scale it. And so your job, if there's a video on my channel about this, is as an advertiser, you're a capital allocator. Your job is to make the safest bets that make you the most money. And so your safest bet when choosing a funnel is choosing the funnel that your sales team is used to. If you can do that, you will crush. And so this video, what I really wanted to harp on was just the importance of the fundamentals. You've got to understand the who, you've got to understand the buying journey of your customers, you got to understand the landscape that you exist in, and then you got to choose a funnel that your sales team is used to. If you can do those, you're going to put yourself so far ahead of everybody else. And we've gotten to a point where we used to be like, okay, we need to spin a funnel up in 48 hours. And like, we still spin the funnel up in 48 hours, but I'm totally fine taking 4 to 6 days to nail down how we're going to speak. Another great example of this from a marketing perspective is, if you've seen this accountant online, Kumar, his team did some of the best market research I've ever seen, counter positioned him really well, and he went to 1 million followers in like 2 days. 2 days, because they front loaded the work. Where Mosey talks about all the time, front load the work, front load the prep. It's how you win. It makes a significant difference. And so step by step, that's how we go about launching anything new, is first figure out the who, then map out the buyer journey. What do they need to see, hear, believe to understand where? Then do the landscape. Sometimes you can flip-flop landscape and buyer journey, but 2 exercises we go through every time. And then the funnel you run should go based off your sales team's skills. I've also got a video on the channel somewhere about choosing a funnel as well, so feel free to look that up and watch that. But if you like content like this, if you want to see more videos, like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next one.